Hi, I'm Brad Skiles. I'm in Warsaw, Indiana, and my friend Terry is in Tennessee, and Nasser is in Pakistan, which is about 10 till 5 in the evening, and it's 10 till 8 here in America, Eastern time. All right, so we want to talk about the building and all of that, but let's jump in. Nasser, tell us about you had a meeting at the brick kiln and we're
Yeah,
pricing bricks. So bring us up to speed. I know you posted something, but let's just go ahead and get into it here verbally. What happened?
yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you for your prayers. Have requested your prayers for this meeting, and it went really wonderful. We were able to visit the brick kilns, and it was quite. It was not very far, but it was far away from the village. Those uh, men in the village, they live in village one, and they have been waiting for us. They were very excited, and they joined us for this meeting. And uh, so when we went there, we met with the owner, and he showed us all kind of bricks they made with good quality, with low quality. Uh, there were almost, we can say, five types of bricks. So he said, I will give you good quality bricks on a less price. He showed us and he gave us all the prices of the bricks. He said this will cost like one was like 11 rupees per brick, and one was 15 rupees, and one was, I think, 13 rupees. Like, and the best quality they choose. Uh, they normally give on 18 rupees, he said, for their regular customers. And but he said, I will, because these people work on my brick kiln factory, so I will give you the best quality of our brick kiln factory on 16 rupees per brick. Yeah,
Wow, awesome.
yeah.
And you have a good idea how many bricks it takes for whatever you're doing?
Yeah, we are estimating around 5 lakh, we can say 500,000 bricks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is that for the single story? Is that for the single story structure that you're talking about there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, we could get real deep, okay? And, at some point we probably have more questions that might take us deep, but try to stay at somewhat of a high level. What
Can
did
I,
you
man, can I
learn?
ask a question? Can I ask
Oh,
a
go
question
ahead.
for you?
Go ahead.
Okay, so if I'm envisioning something, is this going to be a wood structure with covering and brick on the outside, or is it going to be like a concrete block with brick on the outside?
Can you just please repeat your question, because just Madiha just opened the door, so the voice
Okay.
just got yeah.
So I'm curious of the inner shell of the building. Is it going to be a concrete block and then finish the walls inside of it with brick on the exterior, or is it going to be a wood structure with wrapped in Tyvek like you would build a house, and then bricks put on the outside of it with insulation between it, and then bricks put on the outside of it? I'm just curious of the building process that you're looking at in the design.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Uh, what we have planned is that there will be a boundary wall all around the land, and
Okay.
then there will be a 3 to 4 feet difference from where we will start the building. So it will have a ventilation system, and it will also save the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
so are you looking at the primary structure to be built in concrete blocks and then the bricks put on for cosmetic, or I'm just curious of what the infrastructure will be. Will it consist of a wood build, stick build wood, or will it be a concrete block?
yeah, we will use the concrete in the we can say from the starting point. We call it उसको क्या कहते हैं नियो को based on the building.
Okay, let's start here.
Okay.
I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so Terry is understands what we're talking about. I don't. So here is something I was working on with where's my deal? Here we go. So this is Sunday's building.
Yeah,
Okay, those are concrete blocks.
yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Is that how you're going to build a wall? Or are you building it with wood? Or where are the bricks? Are these the bricks that we're talking about?
Yeah, these are the bricks. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The walls will be built with the cement and the bricks.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
So
now,
see,
now I
I'm thinking of a brick. I mean, look at the building that I'm sitting in my video. I'm
yeah.
thinking of
That's right.
not a brick like that, but it's actually more of a concrete block than it is a brick.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you understand the question that I'm asking then. Maybe that was
Yes.
what wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so since I have my screen being shared, help us get close to the kind of design that we're talking about. Okay, I have pictures of everything we've done. So which one is closest to what you're trying to do now?
Okay.
Or do you want to share your screen? You could do that as well if you have something different, or I can bring in whatever you've given me in the past.
Okay. Yeah.
So do you want to share your screen or you want me to find?
If you have it, then
Okay.
because I'm on my mobile phone. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay, no problem. Okay. So you direct me. We'll get here to what we're doing. That wasn't it. I need to organize this just a little bit better. Let's try this one. All right. Now let me do it where we can actually see what's happening here. And it would help if I moved that. There we go. Details, come on. Okay, maybe over here. Maybe over here.
Nasser, while he's doing that, how's the card working out as far as being able to, like, how has that increased your productivity or your ability to contact people and be in proximity versus, what you were doing? How is that working out for you?
Yeah, it's really it was really needful, and by the grace of God, when we got this, now we are able to like yesterday we had to visit two villages, village one and village two. Before first our first visit was on brick kilns, so we went there, and there was no problem to going and moving anywhere. Before that, we had to rent out, and we had to inform them that we will be visiting one city or one place. If we will have to go to another place, we had to ask their permission, as they used to monitor us with their devices. So
Gotcha.
it was real. It wasn't secure as well, we can say. They were like watching us every time, we can say. Yeah.
Okay.
But this our car, we are now free to go anywhere and to reach people. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, is this the one you want me to have on my screen?
Okay. Yes.
And then did you decide this one represents two buildings? Are you building two buildings or one building?
Yeah, with your guidance, what I am thinking, and this morning, Madiha and I were discussing uh, that why not we just start with the boundary wall, because the boundary wall is also very important. So the day when we went to day before yesterday, when we went to the village, and we had a meeting with a local contractor. So he said that if you want a good boundary wall, then it will maybe use lots of bricks, and it will also take time. And then coming to the building, we will also need to fill out the building base on a very strong way. So with these suggestions and your guidance, we both of us were combining everything. So with your guidelines, we are thinking that we go with first, we will go with the boundary wall, and then we will start the educational building. So and then we can, if we will have enough budget, so we can have a shell of the church building.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
So let's start real basic. Why do you need a boundary wall? What are you trying to accomplish with that?
yeah, it will because on our one side, we can say right side, we have houses, back side, and right side we have Muslim houses, and the other left side we can say uh, there are fields. So it gives they will be giving water to their fields. So the boundary wall will cover our building, and it will also secure our building.
Okay, okay. So again, you're talking to dumb Americans. Okay.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Um, so so having a brick boundary wall, a brick wall, how high is it?
Yeah. How?
How high is the wall?
Yeah, we are thinking to have at least 7 feet.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so 7 feet high, and is it
yeah,
primarily security? I mean, is that what you're thinking? Primarily security?
yeah, we can say yes. Yeah, if we will need, then some people are suggesting to have a razor wire on the walls after that. But I'm not thinking. I mean, some
That
of
would
the
probably not be
suggestions.
the type of signal I'd want to send for a welcoming environment.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So I guess here's what I want to say.
Yeah,
You're dealing with now, of course, we don't know anything, right? That's why I said dumb Americans. But you're dealing with Christians and then you're dealing with Muslims. So
yeah.
is it the Christians who are saying we should have a boundary wall because they're afraid of the Muslims? Or
No, it's
is it the
no, no.
Muslim owner who is saying you should have a boundary wall?
No, no, no. It's not because people are suggesting uh, the boundary wall. What we were thinking and we were discussing with the people, because it's field, and you know the things we will have we can say equipments and everything. It will be secure if we will have the wall, boundary wall, because if nobody is living there, nobody is taking care of it, then the boundary wall will secure the building, because if someone comes, because they're on the left side, it will be like an open area. So
Okay, I get
that
that. Okay. But here's the
uh,
deal. If you don't put
yeah,
razor wire on the top, I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't someone just, if it's 7 feet high, that's pretty high, but somebody could just have a ladder, whatever. So if somebody really wanted to break into a building, the boundary wall is not going to stop them.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I'm going to say this for Americans. This is like if you think a 7 foot brick wall is going to give you security and protect your property, that's like putting a sign on a building that says no guns allowed. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a very expensive false sense of security.
Yeah.
So so again, so what we're dealing with is if the Muslim owner says, I'm concerned about your buildings, you should have a 7 foot wall with razor wire on it, and you should have a guard and a gate. Okay, if that's what the owner is
Yeah.
saying, okay, well that's coming from a Muslim. If the
Yeah.
Christians are saying we should have somebody in a guardhouse and a gate and everyone gets, frisked before they come in, now that's a Christian who's operating out of fear, which may or may not be true for, being afraid of being in a Muslim community. But
Yeah.
the bottom line to us is if you're going to put a 7 foot wall, it's 200 feet by 100 feet wide. That's an extremely expensive wall to give you a false sense of security.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, now the value of sharing your screen is this is what we would do in America.
Yeah.
So, again, as Americans, we don't know what's available to you. This does not give you privacy, but
Yeah.
if all that you want is a false sense of security, well then do it the cheapest way you can, and this
Okay.
would be cheaper.
Right.
And
Or
if you
even a
really need,
slatted, even wood slatted fence.
yeah, other than maintenance, right, Terry? So now what we want to deal with is, what are we creating that requires maintenance?
Yeah, you're right. No, I now that you said that, that probably is the least expensive route to go with a chain link.
Well, it's
Yeah.
possible it's more expensive than bricks. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying this is what we would do in America. So what you have to also recognize is whatever you do, it has to make sense to the people who are going to give you money, right? I mean, we need to understand that our ideas may not be the right ideas, but you're selling this concept to people who are going to give you the money. And so they're going to process it the way I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're going to say, like, what's the purpose of a 7 foot wall? Oh, it's to protect us. Well, why don't you just put a sign up that says do not enter? I mean, you could have no wall and put a sign up that says do not enter, and you've accomplished the same thing. Because if somebody wants to cross over
Yeah.
that wall to do something bad, they're going to do it. They're not going to walk away because you have a wall.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Now, let's go back to this guardhouse. I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but that was the idea. Okay, so if you have a guardhouse and you think that that's going to provide protection, well, then it's not going to provide protection unless the person has, like automatic weapons. So
Yeah.
you just have to process what are you really doing, and when it relates to money, are we spending money just to give us some false reality that has no purpose?
Yeah. Well, actually, because this building is going to get the NOC, and we are also we will also have to get the approval from the government for this building. So when the building is registered with the government, then the government officials time by time they may visit the maybe the security agencies, they may visit the building. So what I have experienced while working in the bishop house with the bishop, so every time they come, they ask for the building security guard rooms, and even in on a different places of the building, which covers the whole building. And also by when we get registered from the government also provides security, like they may give us a policeman to present there, or they may have they may give security on special occasions like Christmas event, or if we are going to have a bigger event like women prayer festival or anything like that. So every time they will come and they will ask about the security also. So that was also in our mind. So that is why we had designed this, so that at least we can show them that we have a security for this building.
Okay.
Is that at
They
your
will
expense or the
definitely
government
ask,
expense?
which one?
Is the security that's provided at your expense or at the government's
No,
expense?
we have to arrange our security. They will definitely, when this building will be done, they will come for the visit and they will ask for the security. Even they may ask about the what we can say security cameras. They will also ask about the crossing. We call it walk-through gate, I think so, to checking the people. And they may also may ask to check the people when they are entering, because this is our organization is registered. This church building is registered now, and so we have to follow their ICE, what we call.
They have regulation. They have regulations.
Yeah, their regulations. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So that brings up a point. I think it's Terry would know the verse, but I think it's Luke 14, but where, Jesus says, don't go to battle. What king will go to battle without counting the cost? Don't build a building without, counting the cost. Is that Luke 14, Terry?
Yes.
Okay. So it's one thing to build a building. It's another thing if the cost of that building is going to be $100 or $200 a month. So we need to know that. If you're saying once you have this building, you're going to hire somebody to be there when the children are there, and that's going to be a security guard. Okay, well then how much
Yeah.
does that cost? So
Well, yeah, sorry.
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So the government have asked for the security guard salary, and a minimum wages people like that is that like 38,000 Pakistan rupees. Yes. It will cost like 136 US dollar.
A month.
Yeah, a minimum range from the government for the people like this.
Okay, so here's the question. Are you now
Yeah.
getting $136 a month in extra cash flow?
No.
Yeah. So then the issue is electricity, right?
Yeah.
So what would the electricity cost? So let's just say that you have a gift and you have enough money that you could build this building and you have just enough money to finish it, to put a 7 foot wall around it, to have, I guess we'll just assume this is not built. But now to use the building, it's going to cost $136 a month that you don't have. And then let's
Yeah.
say it's going to cost $20 a month for electricity or something that you don't have. Then why did we build the building? Right? I mean, that's how we have to process what is the cost. The cost is not building the building. The cost is what happens after you move into the
You
building.
have to factor in the operational costs
Yes.
on top of the building itself.
And now let's go back to say this. This is where, as Americans, um, we appreciate the faith that we see. But if I'm in your shoes, I'm saying, well, God will provide because look, He just provided the building. Like, who would have thought I would ever have this building? Who would have thought I would ever have this land? But at some point, you have to kind of step outside of that mode and recognize why is Jesus telling us to count the cost? If it wasn't an issue, then we just don't care about the cost. If our God is always going to provide anything we want to do, then we don't need a budget. And the point is, I don't think that's exactly our prayer formula. Our prayer formula is pray as if it depended on God, work as if it depended on us. And so we have to think about, as Terry just said, what is the operational ongoing monthly cost and how is that going to happen when you have no really income um, other than, $50 a month. Someone's giving you $50 a month. Okay, well, and that doesn't happen every month. It happens once a quarter. So we're a long ways from having, the ability to know that we're going to pay somebody $136 a month and then have electricity or whatever else happens. I don't know what all happens. It's just a much bigger. So that goes back to when you ask me, what's the maximum, that we should spend well, that's actually a good question, but it's so much more involved in that because it doesn't do us any good to build a building if we don't have the operational costs to keep it going.
Yeah.
Or a way of funding the
Yeah.
operational costs.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Or the way of funding, the operational costs, whether it be like the growing of crops, the water or whatever, something in that you're not just building a building, but you're factoring in what it's going to cost to maintain and operate it. But then where does those maintenance and operational fees, where are they being drawn from?
Yeah. Well, what I'm thinking in my mind that my friend Brad and when uh, we presented an idea for buying a car. So we thought that maybe in our culture, we also think that maybe it's really easier to buy a car. But the hardship is that how this car will be running, how it will be driven. I mean, it definitely needs a fuel or gas and maintenance
Right.
expensive. Yeah. So that time also we had these concerns in our mind. So
Yeah.
at that time, they said that if God is giving us a car, how He will not give fuel to gas to travel to the village. So I really appreciate this question, and this is really an important question to have a running expenses for the building, and definitely we will need these expenses, and we have to think about it, and we uh, have a plan how these expenses will be managed and how uh, we can manage the running expenses for this building. Yeah.
So I'm thinking here, I mean, if could offer a suggestion. If you're
Yeah.
looking at a lump sum to build a building, how much of that lump sum should be allocated for operational costs and not necessarily material costs or labor costs? You know what I'm saying? I think that's part
Yeah.
of like what we're thinking of as far as like trying to budget a project. You have this lump sum, and then some of that lump sum is going to go for the procuring of materials, and some of that sum is going to go for the procuring of the labor to build the building. But there also needs of that large sum, there also needs to be some of it set aside for operational costs, and what type of a determined period of time for the operational costs in the event that you don't have a way of generating income, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, and ongoing to keep up with the ongoing costs. So has that been something you've thought through at this point, or is this the first time that you're hearing this type of input?
Yeah. Well, I had these things in my mind, and yes, surely we have been thinking about this, but what we had in our mind and what we were discussing, that definitely we will the government will ask us to have a security guard, or if they send their policeman for a security, for example. uh, so uh, that may not cost us, but we have to manage for their stay, or maybe giving them a separate place for the security.
Okay.
So for some time we can manage without the security, but for like if police comes, and for the protection for some time for bigger events, so there should be some place where they can have their equipment, so they can stay somewhere.
And that's what that is right there.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we understand, you have certain government kinds of rules that dictate what happens, and maybe that 7 foot, fake wall for security is part of what will please, the government, even though I can say it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Obviously, it may be needed and it's very expensive. So
Yeah.
what Terry just said would be a case for saying, um, this building should not, I mean, it would seem like right now, unless there's something huge that, happens that changes the mind, it seems like this building should not even be, poured as concrete, because there's so many unknown things here that if you could do this building, let's say that this building costs $50,000. I have no idea. But
Yeah.
it would be better to have one building done and have enough money, like Terry just said, left over for all of these contingency things than to have a shell of a building and then you have no money left. I mean that's going to be a terrible situation.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So now let's deal with this. Terry and I were talking about this. I'm going to use my business as an example. If I had the motivation that I'm going to help anybody that needs to be helped, I would be out of business. I would not have been in business for 37 years if I'm just trying to deal with anyone that needs my help. The
Yeah.
way a business grows is I have to figure out, who do I want to work with? I say, what is my target market? And can I build a business on those people? And there's some people, got smart enough. I didn't know this in the very beginning, but there's some people who I just say, I'm not good at doing what you want me to do. Here's who you should go see if you need that. Okay.
Yeah.
And part of what I'm doing, I'm being honest about what I can do and can't do, but I'm also being honest about how I have to have a business. All right. So if I translate that into your ministry, what drove you to, from my understanding, what drove you to two buildings is that this is a church and this is an educational building, and you may not have Muslims that want to go into a building if it's multi-use and they know that it's also going to be used for Christian prayer services.
Yeah,
Okay. And I mean, I really appreciate that as a cultural target. But what I'm also wondering is for a Muslim to be open to hearing about Jesus, which is the ultimate goal. Um,
yeah,
is there different kinds of Muslims so that there would certainly be different kinds of Jews, right? We call them Orthodox Jews. An Orthodox Jew would not be the target market generally for, oh, let's try to evangelize Jews. Okay. I mean, not that there aren't people that do that, but that's a very, very hard thing. And so there's probably levels of Muslims, and if someone is refusing to send their kids into a building because that building is a multi-purpose building and on a certain day of the week there's going to be Christian services, I question, is that really a Muslim that is in the target market of who we could possibly reach? So in other words, if you're right now, if you got kicked out of the village, I know things have changed, but when before you got kicked out, you had 25 Muslims involved. That's,
yeah,
25 children. So that means
yeah,
those 25 children came from adults who were open enough to allow their kids to participate in your program. And if there's other families that are like, I'm not letting my kids go to that, well, those people probably are not going to be very open to whatever message you want to communicate to them. I mean, does
yeah.
that make sense?
Uh,
What I'm
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. The other day, the day before yesterday, when we had a women prayer fest, regarding, we had a meeting with women regarding the women prayer festival in Village One. So when we went there, surprisingly, we had four Muslim women there
Wow,
within
yeah.
that. So they showed their interest, and they said we also want to join this festival. And
Cool.
they were asking about 4 or 5 more women they are interested in coming to join this festival. And also, as we have very good relationships, and even when security agencies went for the verification about this building regarding the NOC, so they went to some Muslim families, Muslim persons, who then called me back. Then they said that, uh, are you going to construct a church in our land? So I said yes. They said security agencies, because they don't inform anybody, they just go and investigate their own. So when they met with them, so they asked, they are going, they in this village they are going to construct a church and this building, educational building. Do you have any concerns or anything that you think that this can be? Uh, we can say this can broke the relationship, or maybe things like that, that can cause in the future because of this building. They said don't have any problem with this building. We know these people, they are doing a very good work here, and our children regularly go there, and nothing had happened before that, and we know them as good teachers, we know them as good Christians, and we absolutely have no problem about this building. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that's 100% true of every Muslim in this village, but that's a very, very strong testimony. But now
Yes.
let's get kind of more specific. If you did have the money and you build this building, and I'm going to use what Sunday is doing in Nigeria. Okay, and I'm going
Yeah.
to say what he's doing in Nigeria is a whole different culture. It's not wrong. But this
Yeah.
illustrates that it may be wrong in your culture. If you had a big sign that said Christ the Greatest Hope Alive Ministry and you put a cross on this building, you're actually almost like flaunting this in a culture that doesn't want to see that, right? So it's possible to have a church and it's possible to use a building as a church and still not necessarily promote it in such a way that it offends the Muslim culture. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah. I would like to answer this.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, no, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So as I shared with you about going to the different agencies in the village and investigation, on our backside there's a mosque, and the landowner who sold out this land to us, he's very respectful, and he owns a lots of land in this village, and so they went to him also, and when they asked about the church and the educational building. They asked both the buildings, about the both buildings, that we got a, uh, uh, letter and request for a NOC in this village. So there will be a church also. So do you have a problem with this church? They said, no, we don't have a problem with this church building. As they know, there's a one Catholic church, but it's a smaller church. You have seen it in our lots of uh, programs in that church building and surrounding areas. So they said we don't have a problem with that. So, yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I would also say, um, I would just be super careful that that doesn't give you
yeah,
permission to do whatever you want to do. Obviously without the sensitivity of what do these Muslims think who have given you, I mean, we paid for it, but essentially
yeah,
given you this property to have a Christian ministry in the heart of their Muslim community.
yeah.
And
That's right.
and there needs to be some sensitivity. Okay, so now I'm understanding this better. Why have
Yeah,
this road here? Why have that when you have a
yeah,
7 foot wall? I was thinking this was a street. But I mean, you could
yeah.
have a building that spans this whole thing here. You don't have to separate the two. So,
Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. This is a 12 feet space between two buildings. Uh, it is one point was the main point is that there will be a sewerage pipeline between this street, which will go outside. It will straightly go outside. So the whole water, maybe washrooms and rainwater and everything, the whole water will go in this place, and it will go outside to. So that's the one point, the
Yeah.
main point we can see,
Okay.
and then yeah,
Okay, I get it. Okay. Oh, Terry. Okay, so Terry, your time is up. You want to ask one last question before you go?
No, I mean, I'm just kind of getting up to par with, what they're
Yeah.
thinking through. I think the important part that came out in the contribution to the discussion is the operational maintenance costs above and beyond the structural, what you're doing, and just the caution of when you're doing that, you have to take that into consideration to the overall project. Otherwise, you're going to have something that you're not able to operate or maintain.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Okay,
know that,
very
I mean,
good.
and I think like we mentioned, well, ask Nasser what he thinks of that, about the idea of gathering information from contacts at Acton
Oh
in
yeah.
regard to, the whole idea of this. How is it that other people in other countries are approaching the situation where a Muslim will not enter a church or something of that nature? And what are ways to overcome not only the objection, but in the foreplanning of building a structure?
Yeah, he's okay, so we'll deal with that here in a second. So Terry, how about if you close us in prayer and we'll
Okay.
let you go and we may keep this video
Okay.
rolling a little bit and I'll ask him
Father,
that
we do
question.
thank you, Lord, for the work that you're continuing to do in Pakistan. Thank you for Nasir and Medea, and Lord, just the fruit that you have brought about simply from their obedience and their
Hmm.
willingness to serve and steward what you've entrusted to them. Father, we just pray for continued wisdom and understanding as they're thinking through the process, Lord, of the building of a structure that will give them not only just a sense of ownership, but it also puts in a community uh, a a pinpoint where people will be able to gather freely. And so, Lord, we just pray for continued insight as they move forward. Help us to think through, Lord, the necessary questions. And Father, I just pray that even now, in weeks in advance, Lord, that you are already predetermining, Lord, the contacts that will be made through the Acton University um, gathering. And if there are pertinent things that we can bring to ask qualified questions to learn from those folks who are ministering in areas similar to what Nasser's in, if there would be a way of collaborating or working together with folks to brainstorm on ideas about the most effective way to reach people. So thank you for this time. Just pray a continued blessing over Nasser and Medea and their ministry. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Have a
Okay,
great day.
thank you, Terry.
Okay. See you guys.
Thank you so
Okay, very
much.
good.
Thank you.
Let
Yeah.
Nasser, let's just go another 10 minutes and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so what Terry's talking about is this idea that we might meet people at Acton University that could help us. So I think what we need to kind of step back is to recognize, first of all, there's going to be a random thought, but I think it's super good that you're not going to Acton. Okay,
Yeah.
so this just illustrates that there's too many decisions that have yet to be made and too much work that needs to be done, and that wouldn't be really probably happening very well anyway if
Yeah.
we were on track for you guys to go to Acton. So once again, I think in the sovereignty of God, we wanted to see that happen, and he knew that this needed to be the focus. Okay, so that's the first thought I have. Now we need to have a plan, not next week, but we need something that we can take with us to Acton so that when we, hopefully, Lord willing, have a meeting with Dr. Rabina, we can show
Yeah.
her what we're talking about. We can get her input. We can get her, more involved. And then maybe there's going to be someone else that God has us meet that would just help us talk through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did you learn as it relates to the building? What did you learn from Aslam? It seemed like that was a really important thing. Obviously, God brought him into this story in a way that wasn't, seemingly you bringing him in. So, what did you learn? How can you say that very succinctly?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I've seen that he's very passionate about his work, and but learning from him that he's a God lover, and he loves his work. He loves his services, and uh, about his building. experience he shared with me that when I started a building, I had nothing in my pocket, and I started the building, and then there was no way to finish it. He said that then I have some savings, some animals. So he said I sold out those my things, and I completed my first church. And he said that it's a beautiful church. He said what he mentioned, that it's on a main road, like, and he said that every person who go through there, they just see the building and they really appreciate the building, the way I have constructed that building. Maybe he has taken the idea from the Jordan or somewhere. Uh, uh, he said he has visited a place and he liked that building structure and the design. And he said, I applied here in Pakistan first time. And also he had constructed three other buildings in different places. So he didn't share about the budget or things like that. Uh, but he said, because I have a passion of my services and we are training disciples. So regarding this, and also one thing he shared about his personal life. He said that for me, the I serve the whole 6 days, but I used to stay home for one day, and that I just gave that day to my family, to serve my family, to spend time with family. He said, although we, as a leader, we run for the community, we run for our people, but uh, within that gap, we just forget our families. And if we cannot uh, maintain our family relationships between wife or husband or children, so he said that our service is not like that. Uh, just to serve the people, but just to forget everything about the family. He said that's why I just used to be stay with my family and give them one day, and I serve 24 hours for people within other 5 days or 6 days. So, and he one thing he said about the his seminary learning. He said I have done three seminaries and I'm still doing another seminary, and I'm still a student. So part of that, he said that these are also important things within our culture, or maybe uh, what he thinks about the learning. So he said the whole life we learn, and I like to be learned, and that's why I'm still enrolling in a seminary. Yeah.
Cool. Very good. All right. Okay, so I know things are changing with these diagrams. So this is not exactly what you're going to do. You're
Yeah.
continuing to adapt it.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
let me just say some things that you already know, but just for the sake of putting it into this video. Let's
Yeah,
say that this is the building you're going to build, which is the educational unit. What
yeah,
Nasser and I have talked about is in this kind of picture right now. These are walls. This is a classroom. These are doors. So there's kind of like one area here where you can go into three doors. So let's just say phase one could be if you didn't have this wall and you didn't have this wall, you would have a larger meeting room. And
yeah,
let's say this would be the craft room for the women. Okay, let's just prioritize if we're going to have teaching women sewing or whatever it is we're doing. Maybe that stays here and there's a wall for that. Maybe this wall,
yeah,
these walls aren't there, and you could have computers set up in one corner somewhere, and you could have another class, a group of kids learning English or something, and maybe there's a way to do it without walls. Okay, now would it be
yeah,
ideal to have walls? Yes, but you're limiting the space by having walls. If it would be possible
Yeah.
to have a bigger group here, then you have a bigger room that could be used, for Sunday school and whatever else you're doing, could possibly be used for adults and meeting. Okay, so then if I'm thinking about all of this, um, the bathroom obviously is not movable.
Yeah.
And the second space, if you could only have one building, you have to look at it to say, we're going to build it with the idea that maybe you have two buildings, but if you only had one building, what would be essential? What would be essential are bathrooms and a kitchen. And so then you want to build a kitchen that's big enough for large events. So let's
Yeah.
say that you have a tent and you're going to have a tent anyway. So maybe it's a worthwhile thing to have the church in a tent, and then when the weather is bad and you can't meet in the tent or it's too hot or whatever, you meet in homes. There's other ways to have a church rather than having everybody come together to have an official building. But if this space was a kitchen, that would kind of like appear like the bathrooms are this size, the kitchen, if it was that size, that would probably be a pretty major kitchen that could have outdoor serving window and a door and stuff to accommodate, the vision of if you had a tent, you're going to have Muslim weddings and Muslim family reunions and whatever else they might do. Plus, you have your own thing. And if you had a big enough tent, or even if you had to rent a big tent, that's okay too. But when you have what we used to have as a Christmas celebration or school supply, night or whatever, then you already have the kitchen that can serve into that tent and just be real practical. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
thinking, although you call this an educational center, it's really the infrastructure of the restrooms and the kitchen that are probably most important. And then if you have the ability to have one or two classrooms, again, I don't know all the size and everything's kind of fuzzy right now, but these could be two classrooms. So if English is noisy because, kids are reciting things or whatever, you could have a craft room and you could have a room for that noisy class. And then you could have a big open space and just use that space during the week for smaller groups meeting. And then let's come back over here and see what else we have. This is a part of the building right now, right?
That's right. It's a meeting hall. With your idea, we had an open kitchen here.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Over
Yeah.
here is the kitchen.
Yes, open kitchen. It's a larger kitchen actually
Yeah.
on a map. Yeah, it shows.
So,
What? Yeah. What I was thinking that I have also God gave us a very good person. We had no idea. Madiha's sister's husband's, we can say, brother. He's an architecture, and
oh,
for some reason, I think I don't know if God has chosen him for this. So he was he actually he is a government employee, government architecture and building planner.
cool.
So
Yeah.
this guy, for some reason he was we can say he's uh, for 6 month period he was dropped from his job, terminate, we can say, I think. Yeah,
Oh,
for 6 months. Yeah, some kind of punishment or maybe something like that. He didn't clear that. So he was free at home. So one day we just came to know about him. So we share this idea with him. So he's very experienced, and he said, because I'm free and you're doing a good job, and maybe it's God has given me this opportunity and this time that I can design this and work for you. So he will be creating a 3D and also elevation for free of cost. He has
That's awesome.
all this softwares, things like that in his computer. So
So, and he did not
maybe
draw
he
this,
said
right?
he has
He did
started
not draw
working.
this. He did not draw this. This isn't his work here that we're seeing, is it?
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Is this his work that we're seeing, or is this the builders?
It was someone else, but
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
given him
Right.
this now, and he will work on it now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Very
So
good.
he's not charging anything,
Yeah.
and yeah,
All right. So, you guys are smart. This isn't you've thought about lots of things. I'm just going to say this basically for the people who are watching this, just so you know that we think about things. Um, if this group right here is the most important group, and this is the kitchen, right? Maybe that kitchen works better than this space being the kitchen. I don't really care. That if that kitchen was on this side, it
yeah,
would be more usable to whatever's happening over here. But my point is, if these were the four essential things and those were all moved over here, and that became the back of the building, then you just created a huge opening for a large group meeting in the front. And
yeah.
instead of dividing it up like, like I was saying, take that wall out and you have a space here, then you have a space there, it would probably be more usable to combine that kind of space and have one big space, which might include all of this. And then you've taken these four essential rooms and put them in the back, with one being the kitchen, however you do it, that is pointing this way so it can serve whatever happens out here. And then you got the potential of having a very large, very large compared to where you've met previously. It's very large
Yeah.
space for meetings, whether that's women's prayer thing or, maybe the beginnings of a church, however you do it. So,
Okay. Yeah.
oh, okay. Okay, well, it's coming. And I guess part of what I'm thinking is the probability of having a groundbreaking in June is probably pretty low. I think it's there's too many things here that are needing to still be decided, and maybe it's all going to come together. And if it does, it's because you guys aren't going to Acton University.
Yeah.
So I'm open to whatever needs to happen. When you're getting these brick quotes, quite possible that wait 30 days and the bricks are going to cost more.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's an element here where,
Yeah.
as an American,
Yeah. Because,
go ahead.
yeah. Sorry. Please. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, as an American, we like to have everything precise and we like to, plan.
Yeah.
And yet, in your situation, um, there might be a need to kind of like get started before everything is actually finalized. And I don't promote that like, oh, walk by faith. But I guess okay, so let's talk about this. Does the wall get built last? The perimeter wall? Do you build the building first and then you build the wall?
Yeah, we can, but the whole material we will have to be, uh, we have to store here.
Yeah.
What we were thinking to have at least a mud house, maybe our mud room where we can store it while it's having rain or something like that. Because we will be buying not just one packet of 50 kg cement or things like that. We have to take it from like larger amounts, because the prices changes every day. Regarding the bricks,
Exactly.
yeah, when the rain season starts, the prices go higher, because
Right.
they don't make bricks. Whatever they have in stores, they put in the brick kiln factory. They will just bring it out. That's all. They won't be able to make bricks, mud bricks, to make them bricks in the brick kiln factory. So yeah, and maybe in June, July, we started the raining season. If we will have given them the amount, we have a contract with them that this quantity we are going to buy, and you have to give us. So they will have to have manage it, and they have to give us the target bricks.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so that's a good point. And then plus what we have to think about is it's not exactly a fast process to get you money. So that's a
Yeah,
delay, and we just have to plan for all of that. Okay, so I'm gonna bring something over here just to show you. This is not a very good example,
yeah,
but when you said a mud hut, it would not be
yeah,
uncommon that if you had something like this on that open property, then you have if there was, let's go back to your design if I can find it. Okay, so this is gonna, let's say, be open property. And if you built that kind of a shelter here, and then that became
yeah,
something where you could store your materials, it would be very valuable to you in the future that if you had a tent over here for parties and stuff, and even if the tent was for the church or for
yeah.
parties, but you had this kind of a canopy type of thing, it could be helpful
Hmm.
with family gatherings to have something like this where you could have, the food or whatever you wanted to have under here. So I'm just trying to say when you have a need to store something like this, may be possible that it could serve two purposes. One would allow you to put stuff in there, but secondly, would still be usable after this project is all done. And now you have something that
Yeah,
you already built. So, anyway, just an idea.
yeah,
Okay, we need to
yeah.
wrap
Thank
up.
you.
So, we
Yeah,
now know how to pray more. And
yeah,
God has a plan and he has the money in store for you. So I agree with you. If he's going to bring you this far, he's going to provide other monies. But we also have a
yeah.
role. We have to think ahead and try to figure out how do we do that. Okay, this has been enough for today. So thank you and have a great day. And you have a lot of work yet to do.
Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Have a good
thank you
day.
so much.
Goodbye.
Surprised you guess that you are not going to sleep for the next week, and same thing is
Yes,
happening.
true. Right. Exactly. I don't know how to get out of here. All right. We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Still haven't ended. Have to figure out how to end. That didn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you.